Everybody ready? Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'm sorry.
So are we going to cut the AC also?
I'm sorry.
Did you say you were going to cut the AC also?
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Chief. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Carl Yates, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. And thank you all for being here. We have two people with us, very important, Sheriff John Aubrey, Chief Erica Shields, LMPD, you all know. And they will be handling any questions that you have. The sheriff has some brief opening remarks. After that, we'll try to entertain any questions you have about the shooting incident this morning. Sheriff Aubrey.
I wish I could greet you with the usual good morning, but sadly, it is not a good morning. At approximately 2:30 a.m. this morning, Deputy Sheriff Brandon Shirley was shot by an unidentified assailant or assailants while working an off-duty security job at Rockford Lane Auto Sales, located at 2618 Rockford Lane. After receiving life support assistance from responding LMPD and Shively officers and EMS at the scene, he was rushed to University of Louisville Hospital, where he was immediately taken into emergency service. Sadly, his wounds proved to be too extensive and he did not survive. On behalf of the men and women of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, I want to express my deepest condolences and prayers to the families and friends of Deputy Shirley. I have requested LMPD to conduct the investigation into this tragic, senseless incident with the full support of my office. Brandon joined our JCSO family on March 18, 2019. He was assigned to our Court Security Division. He's only 26 years old. Brandon received the Medal of Valor at our last awards program. He loved being a deputy sheriff, and he was a good one. I want to thank LMPD Chief Eric Shields, who expressed her condolences early on and for her office of support, and that was like at 3:07 this morning. I also want to express my thanks and appreciation to the Shively Police Department for their quick response and support, and a special thanks to the LMPD Peer Support Unit, as well as their Public Integrity Unit. All question about Brandon's employment with JCSO should be directed to Colonel Yates, and all questions about the ongoing investigation should be directed to LMPD. Chief.
Thank you, Sheriff. On behalf of LMPD, I just would like to express the most sincere condolences to the family and to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. This is absolutely heartbreaking, and as the sheriff stated, wholly unnecessary. Our department is in the middle of the investigation. Obviously, at this time, we have to be very limited with the information we put forward, but we can say with a feeling of confidence that he was targeted and that he was ambushed. And it is just sickening. We will make an arrest. We will make an arrest. And I just can't express my condolences enough to all of you.
Questions for either Sheriff Aubrey or Chief Shields?
Chief, at this point in the investigation, can you say if Deputy Shirley had a tactical vest on or any sort of vest of sorts, bulletproof?
I can't comment to that level of detail, but I think that for police, if someone really is determined to kill you, they're going to kill you. And that was the case here.
Are you able to say whether he was in his car? Did he engage the person? You say he was targeted?
We're really going to allow the investigators to conduct their investigation. My priority is to not say anything that would ever compromise the prosecution. And so while I understand the need and the desire for information, we really have to play this close to the vest until we're at a point that we know we will get a conviction. But thank you.
Chief, are you able to say, obviously there were a lot of businesses in that area, what kind of evidence, video cameras, have you had any luck at that?
We're canvassing the area, and any and all video will be seized.
Do you have persons of interest at this point?
We believe that we may, in fact, have a couple of potential suspects.
Do we know how many times he was shot, Chief?
That's a level of detail I'm not going to get into, but I hope you understand.
Chief, do you know how long the deputy had been working at this particular location?
I do not, no. Folks, I realize, there's most of these questions from this point forward, I probably just will not be able to answer. I'm just going to turn the mic back over to the sheriff, if that's okay. Thank you.
The sheriff said that the young man had received the Medal of Valor. That's pretty impressive. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
You all recall the incidents of civil unrest last year, earlier this year. During that time, there was a Career Journal reporter that was shot in the head. And Brandon, along with others from the Court Security Division, responded outside and went into the crowd to lend assistance not only to the one that had been shot, but to try to get the shooter who had been corralled by the group, the crowd, to get him, arrest him, and get him to a point of being able to treat him because he was also shot. And so for their actions that day, leaving the security of the courthouse and going into the crowd, he was presented with the Medal of Valor, so along with 3 others. So.
On the 27th? This was with Tyler Gurr.
Yes.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Jefferson Square. This is the incident in Jefferson Square Park.
Yes, in Jefferson Square Park, correct.
Can you share any more on how might the sheriff's office support this man's family in this situation whenever something like this happens? Anything moving forward that you can share about how to support?
We have people assigned to the family 24/7. Anything that they need from us, we're working with obviously with LMPD in support of their investigation. But with the family themselves, is who our focus is for right now, to get them through this grief the best we can. It's always sad when something like this occurs. We've had 4, I think this is the 5th deputy in the history of the sheriff's office to lose their life while on duty. He is the 4th to be actually shot. We had 1 die of a heart attack about a couple years ago. So we're totally in support of the family, whatever they need. We will be supportive of the arrangements from here out. Right now, we don't know what they are. It depends on what the family wants is what we'll get.
How does it change things for you guys personally as humans, knowing or believing that he was ambushed and targeted?
Makes it all the more troublesome, obviously. To lose a good deputy is paramount. To lose one under these circumstances makes it more difficult for everybody. So, we have a lot of people in the sheriff's office who knew Brandon well. They'll be dealing with this well as the family and friends of his that's not associated with the sheriff's office. A lot of LPD officers knew Brandon. These guys work together out there on the beat. They see each other in their cars daily. And they get to know each other, back each other up. The brother and sisterhood comes together, and that was never more paramount as it was this morning. When you saw all of the blue and brown shirts all together, that's just what happens.
What was Brandon like, Carl?
He's a young deputy, very active, very proactive, and courageous, good deputy, well liked.
I just wanted to clarify, you mentioned that this was the 5th shooting where a on-duty deputy was killed within the department. Was this deputy on duty or off duty?
He was working an off-duty job in uniform, but he was acting in the line of duty. As a matter of fact, well, I won't go into anything else, but, yeah.
And I apologize if you already said this, but was he in a marked sheriff's car, or was he in his personal car?
He was in his personal car.
Do you know what kind of car that was?
I don't know exactly.
Chief, do you know, or are you able to? Chief, I have a
I think he owned a pickup truck.
Okay.
Now, whether or not he was in that, I can't say for sure, but I believe that's the case.
Chief, I have a question not regarding the investigation, but just regarding the emotions behind this. You know, this isn't your department by any means, but as Carl had mentioned, it's the brotherhood, sisterhood. What was it like to see your officers and immediately come together for this? Not necessarily just for the investigation, but, I mean, being together and out there to support the sheriff's department.
Well, my immediate response when I saw the text was that this could have been our employee, our friend, and my immediate concern is what do we need to do to get the officer's life saved? What do we do? What can LMPD in particular do to make an arrest? I think that grieving comes later. We have a job to do right now, and I need people to be focused, and we have to move forward, and we need to get the subject or subjects in custody. I fully expect our department to support all of the surrounding agencies, and I know that that is the culture of LMPD and the other agencies here, so I have no concern about that occurring. I think it's a natural occurrence. It's part of, as what was mentioned earlier, is it just becomes a part of your brotherhood, sisterhood, because you do know you're on an island when these things occur. But right now we need to keep our focus and we need to make an arrest.
Chief Shields, are you able to say that any stolen cars were involved in this at this time of the investigation?
I cannot comment any further on the actual investigation. I hope you all understand, but the highest priority is for us to get a conviction. And that means putting forward as least amount of information at this time until we have effected arrest and put the investigation together. Thank you.
Confirmation, just if someone could spell it into the mic, spelling his name and just giving us his correct age.
I'm sorry.
If you could just spell his name for us to make sure we get it correctly.
Yes,
and
it's
give us
common
his name
spelling, Brandon, Brandon, Shirley, Shirley.
And his age? His age, sir?
26 years old,
Thank you.
and he had been with the sheriff's office approximately 2 years. Signed to the Court Security Division. The other gentleman's been up here, in case you got him on camera, is the major over in charge. He's charge of the Court Security Division where Brandon worked.
One
So-
more on that. Was
Major George Grissom, major in charge of the Court Security Division where Brandon worked.
was Brendan married?
No.
Major Grissom, is there anything that you wanted to say about Brandon? It sounds like you knew him pretty well.
He was a hard-working, like Colonel Yates said, he was a hard-working,
Can you step up
proactive
to the mic for him?
deputy and really
George.
dedicated to his job and duties here at the sheriff's office.
Can you repeat that?
George,
to the
could you
mic
come
for
over
us?
here and say that?
Brandon was a hard-working, proactive deputy, really dedicated to his duties at the sheriff's office. And everybody liked him, and he was a good person. He was good to be around.
Thank you, Major Grissom.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Sorry for your all's loss.
Thanks. Thank you, Chief.
All right.
Thanks for being here. Thank you very much for all y'all do.
Call anytime.
Your people this morning without saying, I just couldn't say enough good about them.
Anytime.
Yes, sir.
I'll leave that
Hey,
there.
you bet.